You know that feeling, right? The surge of motivation that hits with a new year, a new month, or even just a Monday. We feel like we can finally hit the reset button and completely transform our lives. But then, that powerful feeling just fizzles out, and we end up right back where we started. Okay, let's dive into why that happens and what the science says we can actually do about it.
So, really, why does that new year, new me energy have such a short shelf life? It's super frustrating and we've all been there. But what if I told you the problem isn't your willpower? Nope. The real answer is all about how our brains are wired for change. And honestly, it's probably not what you think.
All right, first up, let's talk about that incredible feeling of a fresh start. Because it's not just in your head, it's a real, documented psychological phenomenon. Researchers actually have a name for this, the fresh start effect. Basically, moments like a new year or even just the start of a new week act like temporal landmarks. They're like these mental dividing lines in time that give us psychological permission to just let go of our past slip-ups and reboot our optimism for the future. Think about it. These landmarks break up the endless, monotonous stream of ordinary days. They create this psychological clean slate that boosts our confidence and helps us push past those nagging, self-limiting beliefs that hold us back. It's a really powerful jolt of motivation. But, and this is a big but, it is not the whole story.
And here's where things get really interesting. Because that powerful reset button, well, it can be a double-edged sword. It turns out whether it helps you or hurts you depends entirely on where you're starting from.
And the science behind this is fascinating. In a bunch of experiments, researchers found that hitting reset only really helped people who felt they were doing poorly. For the folks who were already doing well, who had momentum, that same reset actually erased their progress and made them less motivated to keep going. And check this out. We see this in the real world too. An analysis of Major League Baseball players found that when a struggling, below-average player got traded to a new team, the ultimate fresh start, their batting average actually went up by almost 4%. It's like the pressure of all their past failures was just wiped clean, freeing them up to play better. But here's the crazy part. When an above-average player got traded, wiping out their impressive stats and breaking their momentum, their performance actually dropped by 5%. All of a sudden, that clean slate wasn't a gift, it was an anchor. So the takeaway here is huge. A fresh start isn't a magic bullet. It can seriously backfire if you're already on a roll. And this quote just nails the heart of the problem. That fresh start motivation is so fleeting because it doesn't do anything to address the deep roots of our behavior. See, real, lasting change isn't about one big, heroic reset. It's about rewriting the tiny, automatic things we do every single day. So if fresh starts aren't the answer, what is? Well, this is where the real science comes into play. The science of habits. The latest research is clear. Successful people don't just have more willpower, they build better systems. Okay, so think of your brain as having two different operating modes. The first is your goal-directed system. This is run by your prefrontal cortex. It's the conscious, deliberate CEO of your brain. It's great for figuring out new things, but man, it's slow and it burns a ton of energy. Then you have the habit system. This is deep in an older part of your brain called the basal ganglia. This is your brain's autopilot, fast, efficient, and running completely in the background. And this, right here, is the magic trick of habit formation. It's so cool. Every single time you repeat an action, your brain is literally rewiring itself. It's handing over control from that slow, effortful CEO to the super efficient autopilot system. This is exactly why a new gym routine feels impossible at first. And then, a few weeks later, you just find yourself doing it without even thinking.
And it turns out every single habit, the good, the bad, all of them, runs on this simple three-part loop. First, there's a trigger, or a cue that kicks the whole thing off. Then there's the routine, which is the action itself. And finally, there's a reward that tells your brain, hey, that was good, let's remember to do that again.
Okay, so we've got the why. Now let's get into the how. Let's build a practical playbook for creating habits that actually stick around for good. All right, strategy number 1, and this is probably the most important of all. Shape your space. Instead of relying on willpower to fight your environment, design an environment that does the work for you. You want to eat healthier? Get the junk food out of the house. Period. Want to read more? Put a book on your pillow. You have to make the good choice the easiest possible option. Next up, you need a reliable trigger. And one of the most powerful techniques for this is called habit stacking. It's a total game changer. You simply link the new habit you want to build onto a habit that's already rock solid and automatic. That old habit becomes the trigger for the new one.
Here's a perfect everyday example. You probably already make coffee every morning without even thinking about it, right? That's your existing habit. So your new plan is simple. After I pour my morning coffee, I will floss for 1 minute. See how that works? You're not relying on memory or motivation anymore. You're just piggybacking on a behavior that's already on autopilot.
And finally, number 3, and this is crucial, make it rewarding right away. Our brains are wired to repeat things that give us an immediate hit of positive feeling. So, when you finish your new habit, genuinely celebrate it for a second. A little fist pump, a quiet yes, whatever. That tiny celebration gives you a little hit of dopamine, which is the chemical that reinforces the whole loop and tells your brain, hey, do that again.
Now, a little dose of reality here. You have to be patient. Research shows that, on average, it takes about 66 days for new behavior to become automatic. But look at that range. It can be really different for everyone. The key is not speed, it's consistency. Every time you do it, you're strengthening that new pathway in your brain. So don't worry about being perfect, just focus on showing up.
So, if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Motivation is fickle. A fresh start feels fantastic, but it is not a long-term plan. The real secret to lasting change is to stop trying to muscle through with willpower and instead build a smarter system. A system of tiny habits that make success the default, automatic choice.
So, that leaves us with one last question to think about. Forget about the huge, sweeping resolutions. What's the one tiny, almost ridiculously easy habit you could start today, that you could stack onto a routine you already have, that would begin a positive chain reaction in your life?